Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking with David J., who is the founder of warmwelcome.com. Personal video messages across just platforms and to evolve the customer experience. I've been looking forward to talking with you, David, because I heard a study a long time ago that a 30-second video is equivalent to 3.5 million words read. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it has a lot of power behind it, and I think video is so critical. Before we get into just kind of talking about the nuts and bolts of the company, I just want to talk about video and the courage to do a video, right? Because we can look at a lot of studies at the power of it, but you still then have to get in front of the camera that shows all of your imperfections and then shoot it and then send it. So let's just start there. Talk to me a little bit about how we get people first and foremost in front of the camera to actually make the video.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's fun to see how the way we communicate is shifting, especially in that regards. Because now, after sending a lot of these videos, I actually feel like it takes more courage for me to type out an email, because that's going to get looked at. Is there typos? Is it grammatically correct? We tend to judge words much more than we judge video or judge a conversation. In the course of our conversation, I'm sure we'll say things, whether it's a pause or an or a some sort of imperfection in our speech that people tend to just breeze over. Whereas if you type that out, it would seem very odd or awkward. And so I think that we're seeing that shift in how people communicate and how they kind of like that. It feels more human. It feels more natural to have more of a flow of conversation than a stale written email.
Yeah. And so let's talk about, but I just want to dive in a little bit more on getting the courage, because I talk to a lot of people who say, I can't do video because I don't know what to say. I get flustered. I don't like the way I look on camera. And I always say to them, you got to leave your ego at the door and you just got to kind of start. And so what's your advice to get people in front of the camera?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, getting started is always the hardest part. And whether it's starting a business or starting a new type of business, maybe. And so I think just doing it and being normal about it. Like videos now don't have to be these produced, polished things. People actually want them to be more personal than polished. And so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people just pop open their camera or on their phone or something like that, and just record a video as though you're talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Not this pre-written, scripted teleprompter thing, right? It's just, hey, we're having a conversation, just like we would have a conversation at a coffee shop. So somebody who says, well, I don't like how I look on video. It's like, well, hey, I get that. But when you go and have coffee, are you thinking about yourself the whole time? Or are you thinking about what value you have to offer the other person?
Yeah, no, I love that. And so that's so true, because when you're in a meeting, when you're in a meeting, you're not looking at yourself or looking at a replay of yourself at the meeting.
Right.
But if there's anything, sports will show us that the replay actually really helps. Looking at tapes actually really helps. I want to talk about building relationships that you guys do, because the power of building a relationship through video. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, so video is, I think, key to this. And the reason is because relationships are built on trust, and trust comes when you can look the person in their eyes and judge for yourself whether or not you believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
Everyone can get a written testimonial. Everyone can type some nice things about themselves on their website. But when you can look in the eyes of another human, listen to what they're saying, listen to their passion for what they do, that really is, I think, what kicks the relationship off much stronger than just words or text or a pretty picture on a website.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's, what are some studies that show, maybe how, people receive video, retention, conversion rates and things of that nature?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of studies. There was one, it was done by one of the big financial firms because they wanted to understand like why people would hire their financial advisors over, somebody else. And what they found is that some of the softer things, not the, direct ROI, but some of the softer things, the relational components, were the key drivers, even in a financial industry. And that was really fascinating because you'd think in that industry of all, it would be all about the bottom line. How much money did my financial advisor make me? And yet it fell back on the relational side. And so with video, you look across every social media platform, you're looking at videos and emails now, you're looking at videos like we're doing in podcasts. Um, and we're seeing that as a necessary bridge to the relationship. In the old days, we'd just get together, but nowadays, there needs to be a bridge for that. There needs to be a more scalable way to have a lot of relationships with people, but have them still be real. So it's not like you have 10,000 Facebook friends anymore. It's like, hey, I've got some people that I do Zoom calls with, or I do podcasts with, or I send video emails to. And I can do that in a much more efficient way than going out and having coffee with 100 people every week, right?
Yeah.
I can send a bunch of videos and I can have these kind of asynchronous conversations with a lot of people. But yeah, that's what we're kind of seeing as a shift in how people communicate.
Keep talking for a second. Hold on, my dogs are going crazy. Wait, so tell me this. So how many? Let's talk about how to use videos. Using videos in emails, using videos to send proposals, using videos in text. I mean, how is your company set up to provide these personal video messages, and and how are you recommending that people actually use them, and on what platforms?
Yeah, so the approach that we took is we took a strategic approach versus a tactical approach. So in the early stage of a kind of shift in a market, a lot of companies will take on a little piece of it and they'll say, okay, I'm going to do video emails, right? And there's BombBomb and other companies that do video emails, and that's great. We've learned a lot from them, and so we're glad for what they've done. But that's a tactical thing. It's like, I want to send video emails. I'm going to go find a company that does that. What we found, though, is that people should be personalizing every part of the customer experience, right? Not just one. And so what they would do is they'd go grab a video email service and they'd go grab Vimeo and they'd get YouTube and they'd have videos over here and videos over there. And it created a really disconnected client experience. And so we wanted to personalize every step of that. And so we, of course, do video emails, but we also have video business cards. We have video bubbles that you can put on your website, a video email signature that can go out in every single email. So you don't have to, record a new video all the time. Like a video business card, you record one time and now it's useful for you, everyone that it's shared with. A video signature in your email, you record it one time and every email that goes out is now personalized. And so,
and does it show in the email when you click on it, or does it go to YouTube, or how does it show? How does it embed?
It's all on one platform. And so you don't need to have things out on YouTube or Vimeo or anywhere else. You record a video, it stays right there. And some email programs can play the video right inside of the email. Some don't allow that. Email is kind of a actually archaic system. Most of them still don't even allow a video to be played in it. So those will bounce out to a page that you can customize and you can design and have your logos on it and all that. But over time, we're going to see that change. More and more are adopting video, and so
it is amazing that with how far we are with many technologies, that email is still archaic and has really not changed that much. And there's just not a lot you can do within an email platform.
Yeah.
I mean, you shoot a text, you can send somebody a link. It looks like a beautiful magazine. It's easy to communicate back and forth and send things, but not so much with email. I've been waiting for a long time for that change.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're trying to help with that. We picked a little slogan that we ran ads to over the last couple months called "Make Email Great Again," and we were kind of poking fun at politics and all that, but it's true. We need to make it great again, because 20 years ago when you got an email, you're really excited about it. Now you get 1,000 a day. They all look the same. It's a bunch of words, blah 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 blah, and then if you get a video email now, it's like, ooh, this is cool. This is different. There's a human here, not just a bunch of text that they threw up on me. So hopefully we can get a little better with the emails.
So what's the drive? How did somebody like you come to start a company like warmwelcome.com? What's the journey to video and to, creating this, you guys as a company are dedicated to making the world a more personal, more human, more authentic, more passionate, and more empathetic. And so that's a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And so, how did that lead to this?
Well, I started doing videos in my first business. I had a software or a service-based company as a wedding photographer. And, this is back in 2000 to 2008. And every wedding I'd go to, I'd shoot a little video, just said, hey, I'm in, Block Island, or I'm in Mexico shooting this wedding. Check it out. Just a simple, short little video. And it really helped my service-based business grow a lot, because people got to know me. It was kind of the start of building a personal brand. And so over the years, I continued to use video. Then I started to build a video service that was, it was kind of auto-generating slideshows and marketing videos and stuff like that. And a friend of mine, Eric Knopf, came by and saw that. And he was like, this is so cool. I want to use this to send video emails to all of our customers. And so I was like, wow, that's a really fun, kind of different idea. And I was like, I'm stealing that, and I'm gonna make a business out of it. And so we switched, pivoted some of that technology, started doing the video emails, and then kept expanding on it into the different parts of the client experience. And so it was someone else's problem that they were trying to solve, and they had the idea, and we just did what we do and built some tech on top of it.
I love it. And what platforms does it work on?
Well, it works across every platform, really. We've got mobile apps, iOS, Android. We got Chrome apps, Gmail apps. The different videos, whether it's a video business card or even just a video page, we call them, they can be embedded in your website. They can be shared on LinkedIn. People are using them for prospecting on LinkedIn. It's really a brilliant way to use it, because you get all these LinkedIn requests and they all look the same, blah, blah, blah. Well, now this brings a video right into it, and the person can click on the video and they can respond with a video, audio, or a text-based message. And so again, it helps businesses stand out.
And you're making these right from your phone or your computer?
Yeah.
And you have the ability to kind of like, change the fonts, the lighting, touch it up a little bit, or how does that work?
Yeah. There's, a whole bunch of different things you can change on it. You can kind of design it a little bit, put your colors, your brand, your logo, your font, things like that. And so, yeah, it's again, it helps people stand out, helps them look a little bit different. And it's a better form of communication. Like text is just not a good way for us to communicate.
Yeah, I love video. And how long should a video be?
Well, it depends, on really the purpose and the goal of the video. So for a prospecting video, it should be short, it should be quick, it should be something that the person can consume. You want to respect people's time. But as a business coach, you probably find yourself repeating yourself very often with the different people that you coach. It's my guess, right? And so you might have a training video.
Yeah.
Well, what you can do is you can record, let's say you have 5 concepts that you end up sharing with people often. You could record those, save them in our system, and then we have what's called video playlists. And so let's say you're coaching me and I have this business problem, and 20 of your other clients have already had this problem too. So you say, hey, David, in our weekly call, you shared this problem, and it's a common one. And so I want you to watch this video, and we'll talk about it in our next call. And then you click on the video playlist, and it will auto play all those pre-recorded videos one right after another. And so you don't have to repeat yourself every single time.
Yeah.
And so those are probably going to be longer videos that have a little bit more depth and a little bit more to them.
I love that. I love that. Everything you're talking about seems so simple. It's complicated for a lot of people to really wrap their arms around kind of the organization of it, the creation of it, the how to disseminate it. And so talk a little bit about how someone streamlines it.
Yeah. So always the question is, gosh, how do I do this at scale? Right. And so what we've been doing inside of our other companies is when somebody has a question or somebody has a kind of a customer service request or NPS, feedback that they've given us, what we do is we just batch those. And each morning we have someone from our team just pop open their camera, click on record, talk to that person as though they were right there having coffee with them.
Yeah.
Hit stop, and then our system handles all the rest. The way some people have been doing this, early adopters, is they've been recording the video on their computer, uploading it to Vimeo or YouTube, grabbing the link, maybe grabbing the graphic, putting that in an email, and it takes an extra 5 minutes for every single one you send. And if you try to send 10 or 20 of these a day, that's hours a day, tons of time. And so our system does all that. You literally click record. It handles the uploading, the processing, makes a nice, beautiful video page, and you're just done. It takes 20 seconds. It takes less time than writing an email often.
Wow. It sounds amazing. Wow.
Good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm glad we got connected. I can't remember who connected us, but I'm glad we got connected because the service is incredible. And there doesn't seem to be anything like it. And video is so important. And I think people, sometimes they don't have time to read. They don't have time to do anything but just quickly listen while they're multitasking. Right? And that's amazing. That's amazing. What would you recommend somebody start? I know you have 3 packages on your site. How do people start, and where would you recommend, based on your packages, kind of what's the easiest way to start?
Yeah, well, I'd always say start for free, and try it out. We have video business cards and video email signatures that are completely free, so you can use them. There's a small little warm welcome bit on there, but that's always the best way to start anything, is use the free version. If you like it, then pay for the extra stuff. And the extra stuff goes into video emails, video pages that you can embed on your website, which, when you think about the about section or the contact section of your website, that's potentially the most important section, right? Because you've done all the work to kind of get to the sale or to get to the point where someone wants to contact you. And a lot of businesses just have a form on there, right? And it's like, whoa, you just did all this work to impress me, and now you just want me to fill out a form and feel like a number? Like, why don't you have a video on your contact page or a video on your about page that starts to talk to the person about what it's going to be like to work together? Right. And so it's these different points in the customer journey that by just transitioning them to video, personalizing it a bit, you get such an advantage over everybody else, because most people aren't doing this. We'd love it if everyone was doing it, but it's still early in the market.
Yeah.
So by doing it, you really differentiate.
Yourself. And I think that's a really key point too, because it's not as if, people will say, oh, there's too many people podcasting. There's too many people of this. I don't want to jump in. There's too many videos being overused. Not at all. I don't even think 5%, and that's maybe high, are using video the way that they effectively could. So I love everything that you're talking about. David, as I'm just going to remind people just here, warmwelcome.com. You ready for a quick speed round?
I'd love it. Yeah.
All right. I see you got a lot of books behind you. What's your favorite book and why?
Ooh, well, I'm a believer, so I would say the Bible. But in terms of business books, gosh, there's so many good ones. I just read Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller, which I was actually like kind of resistant to read it. And it took these concepts that I think we move beyond. Like we think we've kind of advanced ourselves in business.
Yeah.
And he brought it right back to these basics and made them simple. And we implemented some of this stuff in some of our other companies. And I mean, huge 300% returns by just going back to the basics. So
what's it called? Marketing Made Simple?
Marketing Made Simple. Yeah.
Love it. Best piece of wisdom you ever received?
Ooh, from my dad. When I was 16 years old, my dad sat me down and he said, David, if you make your business about helping other people, you'll always have plenty of work.
Yeah.
And that's proven to be true. And, we've taken a lot of shots, and startups are hard. So we've had our set of trials, but coming back to that, just focusing on the other people and who are we serving? Who are we working for? What problems are we solving? That's been the key thing.
I love it. Yeah, you give and you get.
Yeah.
Double give and then you get.
Yeah.
Last question for you, David. One piece of wisdom you would give somebody graduating college today?
Ooh, I would say start something now. Like even if you go get a job, that's fine. Nothing wrong with going into the workforce, learning, developing, your skills inside, another company, but start your own thing. And the reason is because there's so much BS that we learn at school, right? And you go through school, and I just had a neighbor over last night, and he's telling me that this year they're taking all these students who haven't shown up for a single one of their Zoom classes this year.
Yeah.
They should get a 0. They're bumping them to a 50% for no reason other than just that the whole system failed. And so without the learning that you get from actually having to have consequences and suffer through this stuff, which startups are brutal. There's a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
And so do it, because when you're doing it and it's all on you, and you're going to succeed or fail, and the market's going to teach you a whole bunch of tough lessons, it grows you up and it matures you in a way that you'll never get matured at another company, because at another company, it can always be someone else's problem.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I had a startup when I was 23, and I had another startup after that. This is my company now, 6 years old, as a business coach. And you can read a lot of books, and I do, and it sounds like you do as well, but you can't read what you learn when you start any business. So I love those words of advice. I have your website, warmwelcome.com, across the bottom of the screen, but tell everybody how they can connect with you, David.
Yeah, so I'm all over the place. You can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Spending more time on LinkedIn now. It seems to be a little bit more positive of a place than Facebook. But yeah, do that. Go to Warm Welcome. Send me a video. That's what I love. It really changes the relationship right away when you get a video from somebody. So send me a video and I'll send you one back.
I love it. I appreciate you being on the show, David. The power of video is so critical, and you emphasize that in multiple ways. Think community, check out warmwelcome.com. David, stay on the line for a little bit after we stop going live. But I appreciate you sharing that, because as a business coach, I'm talking about the importance of video all the time. And my last recommendation would be however much video you're doing, double it. And then once you get comfortable with that, double it, and then just keep on doubling, because it's such a powerful tool. I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks everybody for listening. Warmwelcome.com.